Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a question today. Why not you? Why not you? Why not be the person who dares to step out, take a chance, and create something amazing for yourself? So often we sit around waiting for the right moment, the right conditions, or the right opportunity to come our way. But let me tell you, the right time is now. You have everything it takes to make things happen. You have the power. It's a simple phrase, yet it carries so much weight. Think about it for a moment. Every single one of us has been given unique abilities, talents, and potential. These gifts are not random, and they're certainly not insignificant. In fact, everything you need to succeed in life is already inside of you. The problem is, too often we fail to recognize the power we have. We spend so much time doubting ourselves, comparing ourselves to others, and looking for external validation that we forget to look inward and realize that the ability to create our own success has always been within our grasp. When you understand that you have the power, you stop waiting for permission. You stop looking for someone to tell you that you're capable, that you're enough, because the truth is you already are. The power isn't in the hands of others, it's within you. And this power doesn't always show up in the obvious ways. It's not always about being the loudest or the most outgoing. Sometimes it's the quiet confidence that you carry within yourself, the persistence that drives you even when the world around you doubts you. It's the resilience that pushes you to keep going even when things get tough. These are all powerful traits, and they are already within you. The issue arises when we allow fear and self-doubt to cloud our vision. We all face moments of uncertainty where we question whether we have what it takes to reach our goals. But here's the thing, every single person who has ever achieved anything meaningful has felt that fear. It's not about eliminating fear, it's about learning how to move forward despite it. Your power lies in your ability to press on, to trust that even when the road ahead is unclear, you're capable of finding your way. What's also important to realize is that this power doesn't have to be grand or dramatic to be effective. Sometimes the most subtle actions can lead to the greatest outcomes. It could be as simple as making a decision to start something new, to try a different approach, or to take a step outside of your comfort zone. The ability to make these decisions comes from within. It's about trusting yourself enough to take those first steps, knowing that each move you make is building towards something bigger. And here's something even more powerful to consider. The more you acknowledge your own power, the more it grows. It's a cycle that feeds itself. When you recognize your potential and take action on it, you start to see results. Those results boost your confidence and belief in yourself. The more you trust yourself, the more you realize that you can handle whatever comes your way. You begin to see obstacles as opportunities to learn and grow rather than as barriers that stand in your way. The only thing holding you back is the belief that you don't have the power. But once you recognize that you have everything you need to succeed, you'll stop looking for external sources of validation and start relying on your own strength. You have the power. The question is, are you willing to embrace it? No more excuses. This is one of the most transformative mindsets you can adopt if you want to change your life and achieve the success you've been dreaming about. We are all familiar with the art of making excuses. It's something that comes naturally when faced with challenges, when things don't go according to plan, or when we feel overwhelmed by the tasks ahead. We tend to say things like, "I'm not ready yet," "I don't have the right resources," or "I don't have enough time." We convince ourselves that our situation is not ideal or that we need more before we can begin. But here's the truth. There will never be a perfect time. Waiting for everything to align perfectly is a trap. The truth is, success does not wait for perfect conditions. It happens when you decide to take action, even in the face of uncertainty. The most successful people didn't wait for the stars to align before they started. They understood that success is born from action, even when things are messy, imperfect, or uncertain. Think about any major achievement in history, whether it's in business, sports, or personal growth. None of these individuals were handed a perfect situation. They didn't have all the answers from the start, and they certainly didn't have everything they needed. But they refused to let excuses hold them back. They understood that perfection is not a prerequisite for success. Taking action is. Excuses are often rooted in fear and self-doubt. We are afraid of failing, of making mistakes, or of not being good enough. So instead of taking action, we justify our inaction with excuses. But every excuse you make is a missed opportunity. Each time you tell yourself, I can't because, you're only reinforcing the belief that you're not capable. You're telling yourself that the external circumstances dictate your potential. But here's the reality. External circumstances will never be perfect. If you wait for everything to be just right, you'll be waiting forever. The key to overcoming excuses is to shift your mindset. Instead of saying, I can't because, start asking yourself, how can I make this happen? This simple switch in perspective opens up new possibilities. It forces you to think creatively and resourcefully. It shifts your focus from what you lack to what you can do. You might not have all the resources or all the answers, but that doesn't mean you can't start moving forward. In fact, taking small steps toward your goal is often the best way to gain clarity and momentum. The fear of failure often fuels excuses, but what you need to realize is that failure is not the end. Failure is part of the process. Every mistake, every setback is a learning opportunity. It's a chance to refine your approach and grow stronger. When you stop making excuses and start taking action, you start building resilience and confidence. The more you face your fears and push through them, the more you grow. You learn how to handle obstacles and become more prepared for the challenges ahead. At the end of the day, success is not about waiting for the perfect moment. It's about deciding that you're going to do it no matter what. The more you can remove excuses from your life, the more you will find yourself accomplishing what you once thought was impossible. So stop waiting for the right time or the right resources. The time to act is now. Failure is part of the journey. This might sound counterintuitive to some, especially in a world that often celebrates success and overlooks the struggles behind it. But the truth is, failure is not something to be feared or avoided. It is an essential part of the path to success. Every single person who has achieved greatness has failed at some point. It is through failure that we learn, grow, and ultimately become stronger. The key is not to let failure define you or stop you from pursuing your goals. Instead, see it as a necessary experience, one that builds the resilience and wisdom you need to succeed. We often feel like we've hit a dead end, that we're not good enough, or that our dreams are out of reach. But this mindset only holds us back. Failure does not mean you are incapable. It simply means you are learning. It's a natural part of life. If you have ever tried anything new or challenged yourself in any way, you've probably encountered setbacks. These moments of failure can sting, but it's important to recognize that they are often the stepping stones to greater achievements. Every failure teaches us something valuable. Maybe it shows us what doesn't work, or it reveals areas where we need to improve. It might help us reassess our strategies or give us a new perspective on our goals. One of the most empowering things you can do is shift your relationship with failure. Instead of seeing it as something to avoid, see it as a lesson that brings you closer to success. The idea is to fail forward, to take what you've learned from each experience and use it to refine your approach. This mindset shift can make all the difference in how you handle challenges. Rather than giving up after a failure, you'll be more motivated to keep going, knowing that every misstep is an opportunity to improve. The fear of failure can often be paralyzing, but it's crucial to understand that the more you fail, the closer you get to your breakthrough. Every time you fall, you get back up with more knowledge and experience than before. Failure strips away the fear of the unknown because you've already faced rejection, mistakes, and obstacles. Once you embrace failure, it stops being a setback and becomes an expected part of the process. Think about the most successful people in history. Everyone from inventors like Thomas Edison to athletes like Michael Jordan. They've all failed countless times, but what set them apart was their ability to keep pushing forward. Edison, for example, famously said, "I have not failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." This mindset, the ability to view failure as an opportunity to grow and adjust, is what led to breakthroughs. Failure is not the end of the road, but rather the beginning of a new phase. It's a moment to reassess, learn, and improve. If you want to achieve something meaningful, you must be willing to face failure head on and not let it define you. Instead, let it propel you forward. Embrace it, learn from it, and use it to become the best version of yourself. Your time is now. Too often, we get caught up in waiting for the perfect moment to start chasing our dreams. We believe that we need to have everything lined up, ideal conditions, the right resources, the perfect opportunity before we can take the first step. But here's the hard truth. There is no such thing as the perfect time. The right time to begin is always now. Waiting for things to fall into place only delays your progress and holds you back from achieving what you're truly capable of. The notion that there's a right moment to begin is a trap many people fall into. We make excuses, thinking that if we just wait a little longer, the situation will improve or we'll feel more ready. But what often happens is that time passes and we find ourselves further from our goals than when we started. The truth is, the more you wait, the more you delay your own growth and potential. We all have goals and dreams, but what makes the difference between those who achieve them and those who don't is the ability to take action in the present moment. Success is not reserved for those who have everything figured out before they begin. It's for those who decide to act even when they don't have all the answers. By starting now, you begin to create momentum. You learn as you go, make adjustments, and build on the experience you gain along the way. The more you take action, the clearer your path becomes. The idea that there is a perfect time is rooted in the fear of failure. We tell ourselves that if we wait until things are just right, we'll have a better chance of success. But this mindset keeps us stuck. In reality, waiting for everything to be perfect keeps us in a cycle of procrastination. We never give ourselves the opportunity to learn from our mistakes, and we never build the resilience needed to handle challenges. Every successful person you admire didn't wait for everything to be aligned perfectly before they took action. They made the decision to move forward, even with uncertainty. They understood that progress is made by starting, not by waiting. The initial steps you take may be small, but they are essential. It's through those first steps that you gain clarity, find solutions to obstacles, and gather the experience you need to push through to the next phase. If you constantly wait for the right time, you may never take action. Time will continue to pass and your dreams will remain just that, dreams. You need to seize the opportunity that is in front of you now, even if it feels uncomfortable or uncertain. The most important thing is that you take that first step, no matter how imperfect it may be. Every step you take in the direction of your goals brings you closer to your success. The time to start is now. Don't wait for a future moment to feel ready or for the perfect circumstances to come into play. Trust that your time is now and that taking action today will put you on the path to achieving the things you've always wanted. By embracing the present moment, you unlock your true potential and begin building the life you want to live. You deserve success. This simple statement carries immense power, yet it's something many people struggle to fully believe. Far too often, we question our worthiness of success, feeling like maybe it's something reserved for others or that it's unattainable for us. We look at people who have accomplished great things and think, why not them, but not me? The truth is, you are just as deserving of success as anyone else. Your worth is not defined by your past, your mistakes, or your current circumstances. It is defined by your potential, your effort, and the belief that you can create the life you desire. One of the biggest barriers to success is the belief that we don't deserve it. We can spend so much time doubting our abilities, focusing on what we lack, or comparing ourselves to others that we start to believe we are not worthy of achieving greatness. This negative self-talk creates a mental block that prevents us from pursuing our dreams. But in reality, the only thing that determines your worthiness is your own mindset. The world is full of people who have overcome hardships, faced adversity, and started from nothing to achieve success. What set them apart wasn't that they were special, but that they believed they deserved the opportunity to succeed, and they acted on that belief. You might have a history of mistakes, failures, or setbacks, but your past does not determine your future. The idea that you are unworthy because of past struggles is a lie. Every person's journey is filled with challenges, but it is how we respond to those challenges that defines us. People who achieve success are not perfect. They are individuals who learn from their failures, picked themselves up, and kept moving forward. Your mistakes don't make you less worthy of success. They make you more experienced, more resilient, and more capable. Your worth is not measured by how much money you have, what title you hold, or how others perceive you. It is measured by your belief in yourself and your willingness to pursue your goals. You deserve success because you have something valuable to offer this world. Your unique talents, experiences, and perspective make you important. You don't have to be perfect, and you don't need approval from others to pursue your dreams. The simple fact that you exist means you have something important to contribute. The world is waiting for what only you can bring to it. Believing that you deserve success also means giving yourself permission to dream big. Too often, we set small goals for ourselves because we fear failure or think that grand dreams are for other people. But setting limits on your potential only holds you back. Success is not about playing small. It's about embracing your full potential and going after what you truly want. You have the right to dream big and to go after those dreams without feeling guilty or undeserving. The bigger your dreams, the more you grow along the way. When you truly believe you deserve success, you stop doubting your ability to achieve your goals. You stop asking yourself, what if I'm not good enough? And start asking, what if I am good enough? It's this shift in mindset that will propel you towards success. Remember, you deserve the life you've always wanted, and it's yours for the taking. The only thing standing in your way is the belief that you don't deserve it. So stop holding yourself back. Step into your worth and claim the success that is rightfully yours. Take action. This is where the rubber meets the road. Dreams, goals, and aspirations are wonderful, but they mean nothing if they remain just ideas in your head. The only way to make them a reality is by taking action. The truth is, action is the key to transforming thoughts into tangible outcomes. It doesn't matter how much you plan, think, or hope. If you don't take that first step, nothing will happen. Action is what propels you forward, even when you're uncertain or afraid. It's the only way to turn potential into progress. We get caught up in the cycle of planning and perfecting without ever actually doing anything. We think that we need to have everything figured out before we take the leap, but the reality is that you will never have everything figured out. Perfection is an illusion. If you wait for the right time or the perfect plan, you will end up waiting forever. The truth is, action doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be the best, the smartest, or the most well thought out move. It just has to be a step in the right direction. Each action, no matter how small, builds momentum. The more you act, the more confident you become in your ability to keep moving forward. Taking action also means that you are actively engaging with the world around you. You're not sitting on the sidelines wishing for things to change. You're making things happen. This doesn't mean that every step you take will lead to immediate success. In fact, you will likely face setbacks, challenges, and failures along the way. But each action you take teaches you something valuable. You learn what works and what doesn't. And with each lesson, you get closer to your goal. The most successful people didn't become great by waiting or by thinking. They became great by acting, learning, and adjusting as they went. Taking action also means taking ownership of your future. Waiting for someone else to give you an opportunity or for circumstances to change in your favor is a passive way of living. Success is not a gift that is handed to you. It's something you create through your own efforts. The actions you take today shape the life you'll live tomorrow. Whether you're starting a new business, working toward a personal goal, or trying to improve a relationship, it's the actions you take that determine the outcome. If you don't take responsibility for your dreams, nobody else will. One of the most powerful things about taking action is the shift it creates in your mindset. When you actively pursue your goals, you begin to see progress. Even if it's slow, it's still progress. And that progress, no matter how small, fuels your motivation. It builds your confidence and makes you believe more deeply that success is possible. When you take action, you start to see the fruits of your labor, and that makes the next step easier. The more action you take, the more momentum you build, and eventually what once seemed like an impossible dream becomes an achievable reality. The key is to stop waiting for everything to be perfect and start acting with what you have. It doesn't matter if your first steps are small or imperfect. What matters is that you're moving. Once you begin taking action, you set the wheels in motion, and you'll find that things start happening in ways you never imagined. So stop thinking, stop planning, and start doing. Your dreams are waiting for you to take the first step, and once you do, the rest will follow. The journey to success is not about waiting for the perfect moment or the right conditions. It's about understanding that you have the power within you, that excuses won't get you anywhere, and that failure is just a stepping stone to greater things. It's about realizing that your time is now, and that you deserve every success that comes your way, but most importantly, it's about taking action, because nothing happens until you do. So ask yourself, why not me? Why not take that first step, believe in yourself, and chase after what you truly want? Your dreams are waiting for you to take action, and I promise you, the world needs what you have to offer. Now is the time to go for it, and there's no limit to what you can achieve. Let's get started.